Hello, good afternoon. This is Adil Fazal, market analyst at CFDs.com, bringing you a review of the US markets for the trading session Wednesday, the 4th of October 2017. Please be sure to visit Trade Signal, signals and market updates from leading providers at www.tradesignaler.com. Okay, so let's certainly delve into the markets. Yesterday, the market stats for the US session, again, we're pushing to new highs again. Will we continue? Good question. We have Mrs. Yellen on tap, and obviously Mr. Draghi later on, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. The Dow pushing higher, up 84 points, 22,641. S&P 2534. Nasdaq pushing higher as well, and let's see if the Nasdaq can actually maintain its strength. Now, my bias is bearish. I actually have a short position on the Nasdaq at present, going into today, and looking for weakness, given the fact that we have concerns with regards to the European Union. Certainly, obviously, imposing taxes on the unpaid tax bill with regards to Apple, Amazon, etc. So again, that will be risk negative. Okay, so technicals, or should we say, let's focus on the fundamentals first of all before we focus on technicals. Fundamentals, really, Australian markets weaker overnight. Nikkei more or less flat. Hang Seng still moving higher, but to a large extent that certainly is baked into the cake. European data mixed, with retail sales certainly weaker than expected, so no real thrust higher in European markets today. If anything, the gap higher certainly was closed very quickly. In terms of the US data, we've had ADP numbers come in at 135, certainly slightly better than expected, the 125k. We're now awaiting the market services PMI composite ISM, and then obviously we have Mr. Draghi and then Miss Yellen and also Mr. Bullard as well speaking. So you have 6:15, 8 p.m. and 8:15 UK time, and they will all be market moving speeches, so keep an eye on them. In terms of the technical picture, let's look at the Dow Jones first of all. Let's go to the Dow. As you can see here, it's constantly making new highs. Daily chart at the moment. You can't argue anything else other than bullish, really. I think that's it, really. I'm not even going to go into it any further. In terms of the Dow Transports, let's look at the Dow Transports again. Certainly pushing to new highs. Obviously, the tax cut and tax reform certainly front running that to a large extent. I mean, the rally itself has been pretty phenomenal. Obviously, new highs present. Previous day, we did actually get a potential topping tail candle, but then obviously it was negated, so watch out for that. In terms of the Russell, is really the one that I'm focusing on. That's the index that I'd be looking at. Obviously, you are looking at a potential topping tail or topping pattern there, a bearish hanging man candle. Whether or not, obviously, that's negated is a different question altogether, so just be mindful of that. 60-minute chart at the moment, looking at the Russell IWM, you're still continuing with the higher highs and higher lows. The 10-minute chart, again, looking at potential double top resistance. Now, keep an eye on the Russell. If you see weakness in the Russell, then you are going to see weakness in the S&P 500 too, so keep an eye on that, okay? In terms of the S&P, again, we made new highs, okay? 10-minute chart clearly showing that, demonstrating that. 60-minute chart still remaining in that bullish channel, but bulls certainly have total control, and daily chart certainly pushing higher too. Okay, so certainly looking for a strength here at present. Whether or not that strength continues is a different question altogether. Again, the index that's lagging at the moment is the Nasdaq. So let me just quickly bring up the Nasdaq here now, given the fact that we've come to a conclusion. The Dow Transport certainly blatantly bullish. Okay, blatantly bullish at present. Really, the focus really will remain on the actual S&P, Russell, and the Nasdaq. So let's bring up the Nasdaq for you. Look at the biotechs first of all. Daily chart at the moment on the biotechs. You certainly have closed that gap. So you are looking into resistance now on the biotechs, and therefore you are looking for risk aversion. That's my premise. So again, looking for a potential top on the Nasdaq, given the fact that we've closed the gap here on biotechs. Okay, so looking for a reversal there. Let's look at the rest of the indexes as well. Nasdaq 100. Again, there was a H&S formation. Again, looking for weakness here, given the fact that we failed to push to new highs. Again, looking for a lower high. 60-minute chart, you have a bear flag. Horizontal resistance is holding as well. And the daily chart at the moment is holding that double top resistance. So, again, looking for weakness on the Nasdaq, led by the biotechs, obviously into gap fill resistance. Obviously hurt by the situation with regards to the bill that's being forced upon them by the European Union of back taxes. I think there's 13 billion alone just for Apple. So again, that certainly is risk and negative. S&P tech sector as well, certainly stalling at that key resistance. We'll see whether or not we break higher or we start to reverse. Certainly expecting a reversal on that news. Okay, Apple stock as well, certainly expected to come under pressure ever since it released the iPhone 8. Certainly was a failure from my perspective, as nothing new was certainly released there. Daily chart of Apple as well, certainly indicating weakness ever since it closed a gap below. Okay, bias certainly remains bearish, given the fact that we are into previous support equals resistance on Apple. There are gaps. I mean, there's a gap here, and obviously you've got resistance here at the moment. But again, looking for further weakness, especially with regards to the tax bill. Okay, looking at the biotechs as well. Let's just quickly look at the semiconductor. Semiconductor certainly have broken out on the daily chart. I think we had the one reasons was due to AMD and Nvidia. Okay, signing a new potential agreement, so we'll see. Again, certainly looking for weakness on Nasdaq. If the biotech start to reverse lower, then you are going to see even further pressure, and it'll be interesting to see if the biotechs continue their rally. Okay, so that's the status quo at present. Certainly looking for weakness on the Nasdaq specifically. Again, looking for weakness on the FTSE as well, given the fact that we've certainly overshot there to a large extent. Okay, European markets still remaining buoyant, even though we have the concerns with regards to Catalonia. And again, it'll be market moving with regards to Mr. Draghi, Yellen, certainly speaking today. Again, let's see how the markets react there, and keep an eye out on the ISM and the PMI numbers. Okay, I think that's a good summation really of the US markets. Be sure to visit Trade Signal. Signals and market updates from leading providers. Goodbye now.